Hi, I'm Christian Triola, author of the Missing Method for Guitar books. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to play London Calling by The Clash. Now this song, of course, comes off their 1979 album of the same name, London Calling. So let's just get right into it. The first thing that we're going to look at are the 5 chords that make up this song. Now these chords are higher up the neck, and they're on the top 4 strings. So they're not like, the open chords like we've been doing before. So the first chord we have is an E minor chord. Now, if you know the A minor chord in open position, it's very similar to that one. Imagine A minor moved up, and then you would include a first finger on the first fret of the first string. That's the idea behind it, but it's not played in that first position. Instead, that first finger is going to move up to the 7th fret, and then behind that, or along with it, you have what looks like an A minor chord. So that's an E minor now because of where we're at on the neck. We have 7th fret first finger. 2nd fret is on the 2nd string at the 8th fret. Or the 2nd finger is on the 2nd string at the 8th fret. The pinky is on the 3rd string at the 9th fret, and then on the 4th string, also on the 9th fret, is the ring finger. So altogether, we have an E minor. Now you don't want to strum the last 2 strings throughout the whole song. So every one of these chords is just those top 4 strings. All right, that's our first chord, E minor. The next one is F major. So to do that, just take off these 3 fingers here, keep your index finger on the first string, move it up 1 fret to the 8th fret. Then with the other 3 fingers, go to the 10th fret on strings 4, 3, and 2, using fingers 2, 3, and 4, or middle, ring, pinky. That gives you an F major chord, which sounds like that. So together so far we have E minor followed by an F. All right, now in the intro, that's all you play. Later on as the song progresses, of course, we add 2 more chords. Technically 1 more chord with a variation. So that next chord is G. Now, how I like to think of this G is it's based on the C chord down here in open position. However, we're not going to use a 5th string, so we have these 2 fingers down. However, because we'll be moving it up the neck, we're going to need 2 different fingers. So we're going to use the middle finger on the 2nd string, the 3rd finger on the 4th string, and then we're going to drag that all the way up to frets 8 and 9. Now we've left the index finger free to bar across the strings. Now you only really need to bar to about the 3rd string. I like to go a little bit further just because it's comfortable and it doesn't really make a difference because you already have a finger down there. So just to recap, this is G major. The first finger is barred across the 7th fret. The 2nd finger is on string 2 at the 8th fret. And the 3rd finger is on string 4 on the 9th fret. And it sounds like that. Now all these chords are available on the PDF that I have along with this video. Just click on the link in the comment section below. So let's get back to the next chord. Now for the next chord, it's still a G chord. The difference is you're just taking this shape you already have and placing the pinky on the 1st string 10th fret, which gives you that sound. So it's still a G chord, but this time that pinky is held down on that 1st string. All right, now those 4, technically 3 main chords, E minor, F, and G, and then the alternate G, make up a bulk of the song. In fact, this next chord only shows up once in the song, and that is D major. This version of D major starts on the 5th fret of the 1st string, And then it's exactly like the F major that we've already played. So that means your third finger goes to the 4th string, 7th fret, third finger on the 3rd string, 7th fret, and then pinky on the 2nd string, 7th fret, play 4 strings, you have D major. Now when that comes up in the song, I'll go over that again so you've got that. Those are the chords that you want for this song, so let's go ahead and get started learning the intro. Okay, so the intro is only 2 chords. It's that E minor I showed you first, followed by the F. How they're strumming it is with a staccato strum, meaning you strum and cut it off right away. So what I like to do is actually release the pressure from the fretting hand. So I strum it and then release it, but I don't come way off because I'll want to drop it back down right away. So it's almost like I'm playing, releasing, and then squeezing back onto the chord. So it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that you've got that, or at least the start of it, let's go on to the next chord, which is the F. We move up to that F chord again. First finger on the 8th fret of the 1st string. All the other fingers are on the 10th fret of strings 2, 3, and 4. Same strum pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. Getting that staccato strum. So altogether, you have 4 E minor, followed by 4 F major chords. So here's what the whole introduction sounds like. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Etc. So pretty straightforward, a lot of fun to play. Then of course, what makes it sound cool is the bass line that's going along with that, which is pretty iconic. It's that. And at the end of the video, I'll show you how to play that too on the guitar. But let's go ahead and move on to the first verse. All right, for the first verse, we're using the same chords. In fact, we're including the G chord now, both versions in the verse. But the strum pattern is different. We're actually playing on different beats. All right, so with this, we have rest, an up percussive strum, and then down up on the chord. So it's like this. So you can hear that first strum is deadened. And so you do that by, again, releasing the pressure in the fretting hand. Then, of course, it changes chords right away. Right to that F chord again. And then we can throw on the first G chord. So that's the one without the pinky. And it's the same strum pattern. And then we basically do that twice. Then we add the pinky to the G chord and do that twice. Like that. So all together, we have E minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And that's the whole pattern. That's repeated one more time. And then in that same verse, we go back to that staccato strum that we did in the introduction. But this time, it's with the 4 chords you just played. So the first half of the first verse goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. After that, like I mentioned earlier, use the same 4 chords back with the staccato strum, and you do that for essentially 2 times all the way through. So the second half of the first verse is like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you have it. You put those 2 together, you have the entire first verse. So let's move on to the chorus. All right, so the chorus, this shows up twice in the song. There's a third chorus, but it's a little bit different in how you strum it. For choruses 1 and 2, you're going to play exactly what we're about to do. So we have basically the same chords. There is one variation that we should talk about where it actually goes to a B chord for just like half a beat. So when we get there, I'll talk about that. The first chord is that E minor again. So that's our main chord in the song. And we strum it just like we did on the verse that you just heard, where we have the percussive strum followed by the chord strum. So 1, like that. Then we go to a G, but we play it normally once, 1, but then after that, you have the regular, you play it one more time, and then 7th fret, first 3 strings, that's the B, and that's held out. So all together so far in the chorus, 1. So you play that a total of 3 times in the chorus. So I'm going to demonstrate that one more time. 1. And then that's played 3 more times. The 4th time, you start off the same way, where you have the E minor, come up only once, and then you play strings 2, 3, and 4 only at the 7th fret. So the first time you play the 7th fret, it's strings 1, 2, and 3. That's 3 times before this. This time, it's 2, 3, and 4. So it's technically a D chord, a variation on the one that we'll play later in this song. So here is the whole chorus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. All right, now there are other guitar parts. If you go back and listen to the song, you'll hear other things going on. This is just the main rhythm part that you'll hear throughout the song. I just wanted to clarify that because there is a lot going on with the guitars in this song, which makes it sound cooler. The next part that comes up in the song is, of course, the next verse. This verse is a little bit different from the verse we've already played. The main difference is how it's strummed. The chords are exactly the same. So again, we're coming back to 1, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4. And what I just played is done 4 times, and then that's the whole of verse 2. So here's a quick demonstration. And here's a quick demonstration. 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course it goes on 2 more times after that. But just to save time, let's go ahead and move on to the next thing, which would of course be chorus 2. Now chorus 2, we already kind of covered that before, so just go back, play that again, and then we would move on to the next part of the song. And that next part of the song is the first interlude. So it's kind of a break in the song. So here we're doing exactly what we just did, just 2 times instead of the 4 times. So again, that's E minor, F, G, G. And that's it. Just do that 2 times, you've got the interlude. All right, that was easy enough. Let's move on to the next part. All right, the next part has a guitar solo in it. So this is the background to that guitar solo, or the rhythm part. So it's a little bit different, where we're actually playing on beats 1 and 3 rather than on the off beats like we were doing so far in the song, or the weak beats I should say, rather than off beats. So here we have the E minor, but it's 1 and right away, 3 and. 1 and, 3 and. And then it goes to the F, 1 and 2 and. So again, 1 and, 3 and, 1 and. That's for the first 2 measures. So E minor, F. Then we switch to the G chord, and again, same rhythm as the first measure, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So on 2 and 4, you don't play anything there. And then the 4th measure, where we have the G chord again, but this time with the pinky, is 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So you play on the one and then the and of two, and, or an upstroke. All together, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and. You do that twice, and you've got yourself the solo section. All right, let's move on to the next part. This next part is chorus 3. Now, chorus 3 is a little bit different from the choruses we've played already. And this is the part of the song that finally gives us that D chord that we learned at the beginning, which of course is first finger on the 5th fret of the first string. The other 3 fingers go on the 7th fret, so it's exactly like that F chord shape, but back on the 5th and 7th frets. So we're back on the weaker beats. So we have 1 and 2 and that kind of a feel. We start with the E minor. This time we go right to G. Back to E minor. Back to G. Back to E minor. Back to G again. And then at the very end we go to that D. We play 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that sets us up for the next section. So I went through that a little bit quickly. Here's the whole chorus 3 a little bit slower. So 1. And then of course we move on. So let's go on to the next section. So after chorus 3, we go into interlude 2. So this interlude is a lot like the intro. We just go between E minor and F 4 times. So it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, E. And that's that. That is your second interlude. So let's move on. And now we have the final verse followed by, of course, the outro. The final verse, you already know how to play it. It's the E minor 4 times, F 4 times, G 4 times, G with the finger on the first string 4 times. You do that a total of 2 times like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it moves into the outro, the final part of this song. So for the outro, we have E minor 4 times, followed by the F 4 times, back to E minor 4 times, F 4 times, and then we end the whole song on E minor. So it's a lot like the intro, but shorter, and just ends on an E minor chord. So here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you have it. That's everything you need to know to play The Clash's London Calling. Now, I did promise that at the end I would take a look at that bass line. Of course, we're playing it on guitar instead of a bass. You can play it on a bass. It's the same frets. So let's just take a quick look. We start at the 2nd fret of the 5th string and then slide that up. And you slide it up, of course, to the 7th fret. So again, start on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, slide up to the 7th fret using your index finger. So you don't repick when you get to that 7th fret. You're just holding that out by sliding that finger. Then you'll hold that down while the pinky comes up to the 10th fret. And you play 10, 7, 10 on the same string. and then you go to the 10th fret on the 4th string. Then the next time you do almost the same thing, except you don't go to the 4th string. You end on the last string, 8th fret. So all together, 2, 7, 10, 7, 10, 8 on the last string. And then those two just alternate. And there you have it. There's the bass line. You could throw that on a looper and practice a bunch of the song just with that. And it's a lot of fun to do. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, definitely like and subscribe. I always appreciate it when people do that. It kind of shows me that you've enjoyed this video, you got something out of it, and maybe you've played this song before and just kind of wanted to see my take on it. If you have any comments or anything you think I totally screwed up, just let me know. Just be nice about it, all right? All right, then of course, go check out our website, themissingmethod.com. There you'll find out about all the books we have, books on chords, note reading, technique, practicing, and more stuff to come. And one of the books I wanted to mention is this one, Guitar Chord Master. It doesn't have the chords we were using today, but it does have the basic chords that every guitar player should know. So if you don't have Guitar Chord Master, basic chords, if you don't know those basic chords very well, this is a great book to get. So I encourage you to do that. It's at our website, themissingmethod.com. All right, we'll get to practicing, and I will see you in the next video.